Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people.
Have you
When you're on
changed?
set, have I changed? I'm constantly evolving. You know,
In what ways?
Well, I've grown as an actor. Getting older. I'm a little less patient with people that I don't feel I have to be patient with. So I speak my mind a lot more than I used to.
I've done what I set out to do, which was be a great entertainer, get people to come to the movies, have a good time.
Imagine being one of the most iconic actors in Hollywood, yet still finding yourself blacklisted by the very industry you've helped shape. Samuel L. Jackson, a name synonymous with tough, outspoken characters, seems to be facing this shocking reality. But what could have possibly led to one of the biggest names in the industry being shown the door? Well, Katt Williams, never one to hold his tongue, has finally come forward to spill the tea on why Hollywood has turned its back on Jackson.
But I'm not scared of being the competition. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team. They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in.
Could it be his fearless criticism of the industry's glaring flaws, or perhaps something more sinister at play?
So I learned a lot of lessons that, most people don't have to learn today or shouldn't have to learn, but I learned how to, conduct myself around the superior race.
Stick around as we uncover the real reasons behind this alleged blackballing and how it ties into some of Hollywood's most controversial moments. Hollywood is notorious for its glittering facade that hides a much darker reality beneath the surface. Many industry heavyweights have started to lift the veil, exposing the corruption, prejudice, and shady dealings that often go unnoticed by the public. Samuel L. Jackson, an actor who embodies both on-screen power and off-screen integrity, is the latest to find himself in the crosshairs of Hollywood's blackballing tactics. This isn't just about one man's career. It's a glimpse into how the industry handles those who dare to speak out against it. So, what exactly did Samuel do to get on Hollywood's bad side? And why should we all be paying attention? Samuel L. Jackson is not just another actor, he's a force of nature in Hollywood. From his unforgettable portrayal of Jules in Pulp Fiction to the iconic Nick Fury in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Jackson's career spans decades and genres. His presence in films often guarantees box office success, and his ability to command a scene is unmatched.
Describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like.
But despite his massive success, rumors are swirling that Samuel L. Jackson is being blacklisted by Hollywood. It seems almost unfathomable. How could someone of his stature be sidelined? The first signs of trouble appeared last year when Samuel L. Jackson openly criticized Quentin Tarantino's film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. During an interview with Vulture, Jackson didn't hold back, expressing his disappointment with the film's lack of diversity. Despite having been a frequent collaborator with Tarantino, appearing in classics like Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, and Django Unchained, Jackson was noticeably absent from this particular film. And he wasn't shy about calling out the movie for its glaring omission of black actors. Jackson compared his experience watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to another iconic film, Goodfellas. He pointed out how few black faces there were in both movies, saying, "But when I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I mean, how many black people are in that movie? Maybe 3? It was kind of like watching Goodfellas. When I was in Goodfellas, it's like me and somebody else." Jackson's critique didn't go unnoticed. When asked if he had discussed the issue with Tarantino, Jackson revealed that he hadn't. The only time he saw Tarantino after the movie's release was at his Oscar ceremony, and discussing the film wasn't on the agenda. Their long-standing partnership, which began in 1994 with Pulp Fiction, seemed to be showing signs of strain. Their collaboration has produced some of the most memorable films of the last few decades, but now some are wondering if that chapter is coming to an end. Further fueling the rumors of a rift between Jackson and Hollywood elites is Quentin Tarantino's well-documented disdain for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Tarantino sparked controversy when he claimed that movie stars no longer exist, arguing that it's the characters, not the actors, who draw audiences to theaters. He specifically targeted Marvel, mentioning Captain America and Thor as examples, suggesting that Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth are not the stars. The characters they play are.
To him, Marvel movies and DC movies are movies.
Right.
And there's been actually almost no competition to show him that there can be anything else.
But Samuel L. Jackson, who has played Nick Fury in the MCU for over a decade, wasn't having it. He fired back using the late Chadwick Boseman as an example of an undeniable movie star. Chadwick Boseman is Black Panther. You can't refute that, and he's a movie star, Jackson said. He emphasized that it takes a skilled actor to bring these characters to life, and to him, the idea that movie stars are a thing of the past is absurd.
Samuel L. Jackson has absolutely blasted Quentin Tarantino for his recent Marvel comments. Quentin Tarantino said that Marvel actors aren't famous and that their character is famous.
The tension between Jackson and Tarantino was only the beginning. Rumors began circulating that Jackson had issued a challenge to Tarantino, which some believe might have led to his alleged blacklisting. Jackson is no stranger to controversy. His unfiltered use of language in films has always been a point of contention. While many fans appreciate his bold, no-nonsense style, others see it as gratuitous or even damaging. Critics argue that Jackson relies too heavily on profanity, masking what they perceive as a lack of verbal finesse. This controversy is compounded by Jackson's frequent portrayal of angry black men on screen. Director Spike Lee once dubbed him the go-to actor for playing such roles, a label that Jackson has both embraced and rejected over the years. While these roles have earned him acclaim, they've also sparked debate about the perpetuation of negative stereotypes. Adding to the fire, Jackson has been criticized for appearing in too many blockbuster franchises. From Star Wars to the MCU, Jackson has been accused of chasing big paychecks at the expense of artistic credibility. While his involvement in these franchises has undoubtedly kept him in the public eye, some critics argue that it's a sign of him selling out. Despite the swirling rumors and controversies, Samuel L. Jackson remains an iconic figure in Hollywood. His career, marked by both triumphs and setbacks, speaks to his resilience and unwavering commitment to his craft. While the rumors of blackballing persist, Jackson shows no signs of slowing down. He continues to take on roles that challenge and excite him, proving that even in an industry that can be as ruthless as Hollywood, talent and tenacity will always prevail. Unfortunately, there are some actors who've been unfairly sidelined for reasons that just don't add up. One of these actors is Stacey Dash. Yeah, the iconic Dion from the 90s hit Clueless.
Ew! Get off of me!
She was basically the IT girl back then, a household name with her sassy charm and fashion sense. But buckle up, because her Hollywood journey took some seriously wild twists and turns that no one saw coming. After riding the wave of fame from Clueless, Stacey didn't just fade into the background like so many other stars. Oh no, she decided to shake things up in a way that left everyone in Hollywood doing a double take. Instead of sticking to the usual Hollywood grind, she took a sharp turn right into the world of political commentary. And when I say sharp, I mean razor sharp. Stacey went from being everyone's favorite 90s fashion icon to one of the most controversial voices in the political arena. She didn't just dip her toes in the water. She cannonballed in, making waves that sent shockwaves through Tinseltown. Imagine the girl who once ruled the school hallways in Clueless now stepping up to the mic to voice some pretty bold conservative opinions. It was like she dropped a political bomb right in the middle of Hollywood, and trust me, people had feelings about it. She didn't just flirt with conservative views. She embraced them fully, especially when it came to topics like Barack Obama's presidency and hot-button social issues. Now, Hollywood is known for leaning left, like way left. So Stacey's decision to take a hard right was nothing short of revolutionary, or maybe more accurately, rebellious. She wasn't just swimming against the current, she was practically going full throttle upstream, and the backlash was intense. Her fiery appearances on news networks and her unapologetic social media rants turned her into a lightning rod for controversy. We're talking about some seriously heated debates with Stacey right in the center of the storm. In an industry where your personal beliefs can make or break your career, Stacey Dash didn't just step out of line. She bulldozed right through it, setting herself up as the black sheep of Hollywood. But here's where it gets even juicier. Her outspoken stance didn't just ruffle a few feathers, it practically put her at war with a huge chunk of Hollywood's elite. The same industry that once embraced her as the stylish, witty Dion was now side-eyeing her every move. Suddenly, she was at odds with not just her peers, but with the entire Hollywood machine. Stacey's move was more than just a career shift. It was like she flipped the script entirely, turning from beloved actress to one of the the most polarizing figures in recent memory. And while some might say she lost her way, others believe she found a new, albeit controversial, path. One thing's for sure, Stacey Dash isn't clueless about where she stands, even if it means standing alone.
You know, we're Americans, period. That's it.
Are you saying there shouldn't be a Black History Month because there isn't a White History Month?
Exactly.
Now let's talk about Jussie Smollett, a name that was once synonymous with success and boundary breaking in Hollywood. You probably remember him as Jamal Lyon from Empire, where he played the openly super talented son of Lucius Lyon. He wasn't just acting, he was making history as one of the first openly gay black men to star in a major TV drama. The accolades were pouring in, and Jussie was on top of the world, shattering stereotypes and redefining what it meant to be a leading man on primetime TV. But just when it seemed like nothing could go wrong, the story took a jaw-dropping twist. In January 2019, Jussie claimed he was the victim of a brutal hate crime in Chicago. The news spread like wildfire, and people from all walks of life rushed to support him. Celebrities, politicians, and fans alike rallied behind him, denouncing the attack and showering him with love. It was a moment of unity, but oh boy, things were about to get complicated. As the investigation unfolded, cracks started to appear in Jussie's story. What started as a horrific incident soon began to look more like a Hollywood script gone wrong. Rumors swirled that the whole thing might have been staged by Jussie himself. Suddenly, the narrative flipped. The same media that had championed him turned into a relentless machine of scrutiny and skepticism. The guy who had once been hailed as a hero was now at the center of a nationwide scandal. Public opinion did a complete 180. Jussie went from being the victim of a hate crime to the prime suspect in what many believed was an elaborate hoax. The backlash was fierce and unforgiving, and the media had a field day. Suddenly, Jussie was facing some serious legal trouble. Like, serious. He was slapped with a 16-count indictment for allegedly filing a false police report. The legal drama that followed was straight out of a soap opera. Charges were dropped, only to be reinstated later with a fresh indictment. It was like a roller coaster that just wouldn't stop.
Against him.
You are fined $25,000, which is the maximum fine, and you will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail. And that will start today.
And let's not forget the impact this had on his career. Practically overnight, Jussie went from being a beloved TV star to a controversial figure, fighting for his reputation and freedom. The twists and turns in his case kept everyone on the edge of their seats, with each new development sparking heated debates and speculation. The whole saga has left Jussie Smollett in a strange place. Once a trailblazer in Hollywood, now a cautionary tale of how quickly the tides can turn. Whether you believe he was the architect of his own downfall or the victim of a larger conspiracy, one thing's clear: Jussie's story is one of the most shocking and talked about scandals in recent memory. Anyway, another actor who was blacklisted by Hollywood is Wesley Snipes. Well, for those who haven't been keeping up, Marvel has been trying to reboot Blade for years now, but every time they seem to be making progress, the project hits yet another roadblock. Whether it's losing directors, issues with casting, or script problems, it feels like there's a curse hanging over this beloved series. So what gives? Why is Marvel struggling so much with Blade, and why won't they bring back the man who made it all happen, Wesley Snipes?
Have you talked with them about any potential appearances or cameos in the future?
No, not as of yet. You know, I'm still working on my acting skills, so when I come up as an actor, maybe they'll reach out and say, let's have a conversation.
One popular theory is that Marvel is simply unable to find the right creative vision. After all, the original Blade trilogy set a high bar with its unique blend of horror, action, and Snipes' undeniable charisma. Recreating that magic isn't easy, but many believe there's more to it. A deeper, more insidious reason rooted in Hollywood's infamous reputation for holding grudges and sidelining those who don't toe the line. First and foremost, let's address the elephant in the room: why Marvel won't cast Wesley Snipes as Blade anymore. Wesley Snipes, the man who practically saved Marvel's film division back in the late 90s with the original Blade, has been conspicuously absent from all discussions about the reboot. Despite his eagerness to return to the role and his vocal support from fans, Marvel has consistently overlooked him. So, why the cold shoulder? Sources close to the production and numerous industry insiders point to Snipes' reputation for being difficult to work with. Stories from the set of Blade, Trinity, the third movie in the original series, paint a picture of escalating tensions and unprofessional behavior. Patton Oswalt, who co-starred in the movie, recounted some wild tales about Snipes' behavior on set.
And Wesley Snipes was going crazy, and he wouldn't come out of his trailer, and you'd walk by his trailer, and this wall of pot stench would just, like, whoa, and kind of push you to the side.
According to Oswalt, Snipes was so unhappy with the direction of the film and the decisions being made by director David S. Goyer that he isolated himself from the cast and crew, communicating only through post-it notes signed Blade. There were even reports of physical altercations and outright refusal to cooperate with Goyer.
He would communicate with post-its that he would give to the director, and each one he would sign Blade.
Given Hollywood's penchant for holding grudges, it's not surprising that such stories would sour Marvel on the idea of bringing Snipes back. But it's worth noting that Snipes himself has a different version of events. He's spoken out about how he felt marginalized and disrespected during the production of Blade: Trinity, suggesting that his actions were a response to a hostile working environment. Unfortunately, in the power dynamics of Hollywood, the label of difficult can be a career killer, and it appears Snipes has been blackballed as a result. But let's not forget the business side of things. Marvel is now a massive entity owned by Disney, and the company is known for its family-friendly image. Snipes' off-screen troubles, including a high-profile tax evasion case that led to his imprisonment, don't exactly align with Disney's clean-cut brand. Bringing Snipes back might be seen as too risky for a company that likes to keep its controversies to a minimum. Another theory circulating among fans is that Marvel wants to distance itself from the original trilogy's darker, more adult themes. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is known for its more PG-13 approach, and Blade's R-rated blood and gore might be a tough fit. By rebooting the character with a new actor, Mahershala Ali in this case, Marvel can reset expectations and mold the character to fit better within the broader MCU. However, this decision hasn't sat well with die-hard Blade fans. Many argue that without Snipes, the character just isn't the same. Snipes brought a unique intensity and authenticity to the role that's hard to replicate. His martial arts skills, physicality, and sheer presence were integral to Blade's success. Fans feel that by sidelining Snipes, Marvel is dismissing the very elements that made Blade a cult classic. And then there's the aspect of how Snipes had single-handedly saved Marvel from going down. You see, back in the mid-90s, Marvel was in dire straits. The company was struggling financially, on the brink of bankruptcy, and its comic book sales were plummeting. The idea of a successful Marvel movie seemed like a distant dream. Up until that point, Marvel's attempts at translating their characters to the big screen had been less than stellar. Think about the disastrous 1990 Captain America movie, or the campy 1989 Punisher film. Both were flops that did nothing to enhance Marvel's reputation. Then came Blade. Released in 1998, Blade was Marvel's first successful foray into the world of cinema. But the journey to the screen was anything but straightforward. Initially, New Line Cinema had reservations about producing a superhero movie, especially one that wasn't widely known to the general public. Blade was a relatively obscure character, even among comic book readers. The studio took a gamble on Wesley Snipes, who was already a well-known action star thanks to hits like Passenger 57 and Demolition Man. Wesley Snipes brought an unprecedented level of commitment and passion to the role. As a lifelong martial arts enthusiast and a fan of the Blade character, Snipes saw this as more than just another gig. He saw it as an opportunity to bring something fresh and unique to the superhero genre. Snipes' intense training, charismatic performance, and deep understanding of Blade's character were crucial in bringing the Daywalker to life. His portrayal was gritty, intense, and refreshingly different from the campy superhero films of the past. Critics and audiences alike were blown away by Blade. The movie was a dark, stylish action horror film that didn't shy away from blood and violence. It was rated R, a bold move that allowed it to stand out in a market saturated with family-friendly superhero content. Blade's success wasn't just a win for Marvel, it was a game changer for the entire industry. The film grossed over $131 million worldwide, a significant achievement for a movie with a $45 million budget. More importantly, it proved that superhero movies could be taken seriously and could be commercially viable. The impact of Blade on Marvel cannot be overstated. In an interview with EW, David S. Goyer, the screenwriter for Blade, remarked, "There's a very strong argument that Blade was the first successful Marvel movie. It was the first Marvel movie that was made under the Marvel banner that was actually good." This success gave Marvel the confidence to pursue other film projects and showed Hollywood that there was a lucrative market for darker, more mature superhero stories. Blade's triumph paved the way for Marvel to take bigger risks. The success of Blade in 1998 was followed by the release of X-Men in 2006 and Spider-Man in 2002. Both of these films built on Blade's foundation and went on to become huge hits, further solidifying Marvel's presence in the film industry. Without Blade proving that a lesser-known character could be a box office success, it's unlikely that studios would have been willing to invest in other Marvel properties. Wesley Snipes himself has often spoken about the importance of Blade in the context of Marvel's success. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Snipes said, "We were the first to prove that a comic book film could make money. The success of Blade made the others possible. We showed them that there was an audience out there." The cultural impact of Blade also cannot be overlooked. The film was one of the first major superhero movies to feature an African-American lead, breaking new ground in terms of representation. Snipes' portrayal of Blade was a powerful, complex character who stood out in a genre that had been overwhelmingly white. This representation mattered, and it resonated with audiences who saw themselves reflected on the big screen in a way they hadn't before. Blade also set the stage for the modern superhero film aesthetic. Its use of practical effects, cutting-edge CGI for the time, and a moody, techno-infused soundtrack created a distinctive style that influenced future superhero movies. The film's success demonstrated that audiences were ready for more sophisticated and visually compelling superhero stories, paving the way for the intricate world building and high production values that define the MCU today. But perhaps the most significant impact of Blade was how it changed Hollywood's perception of superhero films. Before Blade, superhero movies were often seen as risky investments with limited appeal. Blade proved that with the right approach, even a lesser-known character could become a box office sensation. This shift in perception was critical in convincing studios to invest in superhero properties, ultimately leading to the creation of the MCU. Next up is Isaiah Washington. You know him from Grey's Anatomy, playing the suave Dr. Preston Burke, a role that put him on the map as a top-notch performer. But buckle up, because his Hollywood ride gets bumpy real quick. There's this incident that totally flips the script on Washington's career vibe. It all kicks off when he drops a not-so-cool homophobic slur on the Grey's Anatomy set. Suddenly, it's the talk of the town, everyone's buzzing about it. And let me tell you, the industry, all gung-ho about inclusivity and being respectful, wasn't having it. They threw some serious shade at Washington, and the backlash was like a Hollywood storm.
In 2007, when you left Grey's Anatomy, there was so much conversation around your departure because you had allegedly made a homophobic comment about your former co-star.
The aftermath hits, and Grey's Anatomy slams the door on renewing Washington's contract. This whole episode becomes a real-life soap opera, highlighting the crazy dance between personal beliefs, public antics, and the gigs that make or break a career. Despite Washington owning up to his slip-up and giving a public apology, the incident becomes this looming cloud over his career. Fast forward post-Grey's Anatomy, and snagging roles of the same spotlight magnitude becomes a bit of a mission impossible for him. It's like the Hollywood gods decided to make him jump through hoops to reclaim his spot in the limelight. So what does this all mean? Is Hollywood really as ruthless as Katt Williams claims? If you look at the cases of Samuel L. Jackson, Stacey Dash, and Jussie Smollett, it's hard to argue otherwise. The industry has a way of chewing up and spitting out those who refuse to conform, whether it's through blacklisting or public shaming. Hollywood is a tough place, where even legends like Samuel L. Jackson can find themselves on the wrong side of the tracks. But with people like Katt Williams willing to speak out, perhaps there's still hope for change. Whether you're a fan of Jackson, Dash, or Smollett, one thing's for sure, the entertainment industry is a battlefield and only the strongest survive. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.